Shadowbinders is back in stock on shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. And now on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and we're going to talk about IDW Publishing, IDW Media Holdings, the comic book publisher IDW that is struggling, right? They've been struggling for the last couple years. And there's a lot of weirdness going on. Well, there's been a lot of weirdness going on with IDW for the last couple of years now, but we've got some more executives jumping ship. We've got them trying to file an IPO. They want to go public with, IDW, and I don't know what is going on here. I think that this is a Hail Mary pass for this company. IDW has been hemorrhaging money for years, and they've been chasing Hollywood deals, and they haven't been working out very well for them. So we're going to talk about that and kind of just touch on the continued state of decline, I guess, for the mainstream comic book industry, and Marvel and DC are not doing all that well these days. So it stands to reason that publishers like IDW and I'd say Boom too, but Boom's actually doing really well with crowdfunding. But some of these lower tier publishers are not doing well. A lot of them are folding completely. Was it Black Mask or Volt? One of those two, they're just kind of packing it up. There are a couple of these publishers that are just kind of packing it up as the direct market shrinks. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Kids today, they're not buying the floppy comics, they're buying the mangas. They're buying the mangas. And the Raina Telgemeier books and the Dogman books. So let's talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 206,000 subs. Thank you for the support. Geeky is sitting this video out, but she will be in upcoming videos, so stay tuned for that. I think this kind of bored her. I don't think she wanted to talk about this, so I'm going to talk about it, though. IDW is trying to go public. IDW Media Holdings files $8 million IPO. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about one of their top people, the IDW Entertainment president, jumping ship. Then we're going to talk about all these other people getting hired at IDW. I mean, this is just crazy what's going on over here. So IDW, again, has been hemorrhaging money for 3 or 4 years now. They keep saying that they're losing money because eventually their ship is going to come in. They're going to make a boatload of money off of Hollywood. One of these days, they're going to wind up with the Stranger Things. And I think they thought Lock and Key was going to be their Stranger Things. And it just kind of came and went, and nobody cares. But this is coming from Comics Beat. IDW filing $8 million IPO. So IDW Media Holdings, the parent company of IDWP and IDWE, has filed an S-1 investment prospectus seeking to raise $8 million to get uplisted to the New York Stock Exchange. At least that's a layman's interpretation of their latest SEC filing and this Renaissance Capital report. Although an S-1 filing is the precursor to an IPO, initial public offering, the main goal of this appears to be getting IDW listed on the stock exchange, a more high-profile stock exchange. IDW is currently listed as an over-the-counter stock, while also raising $8 million, which is also helpful. Or they could just be like Boom, and they could go crowdfund a couple of $1 million, instead of having to do an IPO. But what the hell do I know? You can read the prospectus in the link. So yeah, there's a lot of weirdness going on with IDW. Here is their strategy. According to Heidi McDonald, she said, reading between the lines a little bit here, the chairman, Howard Jonas, he's been reinvesting in the company for a while, basically keeping it afloat. And I think he was the one who said 3 years ago that they needed to just sell the company. But an IPO seems like a better way to get a return on that investment than just publishing comics. Because this isn't about comics. This has nothing to do with comics. This is IDW is chasing Hollywood deals, and they're basically trying to hold on as long as they can until their ship comes in, this mythical ship that's going to come in and give them boatloads of money. Eventually, they're going to get an Avengers. Eventually, they're going to have a Stranger Things. Eventually, they're going to get this big fat Netflix deal or big fat Hulu deal, and I don't know if they are. This is their strategy from their paperwork. We seek to improve our financial performance by primarily focusing on development of entertainment that can generate value from our intellectual property and increase coordination between publishing and entertainment to improve our development pipeline, blah, blah, blah. IDWP and IDWE will seek to jointly and synergistically develop and produce books and entertainment so as to allow us to capitalize on the global demand for original content from streaming services, including Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, Apple TV+, Amazon Prime Video, HBO Max, Peacock is something else, and CBS All Access, as well as traditional networks, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, USA. They're basically like, look at all these places we can pitch our shit to. Never mind that a lot of these places already have pre-existing deals with other comic book publishers, or they own other comic book publishers. We seek to own all rights to the intellectual property of our content in order to afford us significant production-based fees supplemented by merchandising, games, videos, and other fandom-driven revenue opportunities. Basically, we're just going to keep pitching shit. We want $8 million to keep pitching shit because nothing we've come up with so far has stuck. Now, the thing is IDW was in a really good position to produce original IP, and they didn't do it. They actually spent a lot of time chasing licensing deals and just producing comics for companies like Hasbro. That's what they did. They didn't develop their own stuff. And this is one critical mistake, I think, that Heidi McDonald said, that IDW's got plenty of IP. No, they really don't. They really don't have a lot of their own IP. And they've already gone through some of the best stuff they had from their catalog, including Lock and Key, which kind of came and went and nobody really cared. So we've already got some executives jumping ship. Lydia Antonini is exiting as IDW's entertainment president to return to producing. So this is coming from Deadline yesterday. After nearly 5 years at IDW Entertainment, Lydia is stepping down as president to return to producing. Although she is exiting her current role at IDW, they expect that she will continue as a producer on several projects. The announcement was made Monday in a joint statement from IDW Media Holdings, IDW Entertainment's parent company, and Antonini. So for almost 5 years, I've been with IDW, and I've been fortunate to work with the best talent and creators in the world. And I'm thankful for that honor. Another rat jumping the ship, sinking ship. They don't have a successor. Look, they keep losing people. They lose publishers. And they was the one guy they hired. They hired him for like a week. And they're like, oh, this dude was involved in some kind of a scandal. And they had to get rid of him. Chris Reel, he came in, and they brought him back and he left and they brought him back again. They've cut ties with all the people I worked with. Now, I did do freelance for IDW. And all the people I worked with, on every level, none of them are with the company anymore. They've all gone someplace else. Like, this company is basically turning itself into Platinum Studios 2.0. Again, coming from the beat just a couple weeks ago, they're hiring a whole bunch of other people, new fresh voices. Fresh voices as we build out our list. They've got this Heather and Jasmine coming to IDW. Again, this is all about Hollywood. This is all about chasing Hollywood deals. They're trying to put teams together to chase Hollywood deals, Netflix deals. IDW is no longer a comic book publisher. They're not. And if they go public, it's over. Like, the comic books are just going to be proof of concept. And that's it. They're proof of concept for TV shows, for pitches that probably won't get picked up, the vast majority of them. A couple weeks ago, they had to make sure they got this out to Publishers Weekly that their publishing sales rose. Guys, we're fine. We're doing fine, but they're still hemorrhaging money. And a lot of that money is going into, again, chasing Hollywood. Meanwhile, I saw this yesterday. Gary at Nerdrotic was talking about how his old shop, Comics Experience, is closing in San Francisco. Another comic shop closing. I thought comics were fine. When you start to run out of publishers that care about publishing comics that sell to a lot of people, guess what? A lot of times you can't keep your doors open. The people that are doing the best right now, comic shop owners, are those dealing in vintage. I'm hearing from people that vintage comics are going through the roof right now. People are buying vintage comics. I guess I've been buying vinyl, so I can't say anything. People are buying the old stuff. They're not buying the new stuff. Why should you? If it's just like Platinum, where it's just published to create as a placeholder for a Netflix show, why bother? Why should people have to pay for that? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so there we go, guys. That's IDW's new plan, that they're going to try to get themselves on the stock exchange, and they're going to just use that $8 million, I guess, to bankroll more pilots. I don't know. They're not a comic book publisher anymore. They're just not. Comics are secondary. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.